But first, a little NCAA talk with a player. UNC midfielder, sophomore Tate Jozokos joins us now on the phone. Tate, good morning. How are you?
Morning. Good. How are you?
Good. We appreciate you making time for us. I know your day is busy. How excited are you to play in the NCAA tournament later on this afternoon?
Man, it's not a lot of words to describe. Growing up, you always look at a dream you have to fight for a national championship, first round. It's like a dream come true, really.
Butterflies at all?
It's a little early for that, but I bet there's going to be some when you step on that field.
Again, midfielder Tate Jozokos of North Carolina joining us, ACC Defensive Player of the Week. You guys are the 3 seed overall in this tournament. How confident are you collectively going into game 1?
Well, we are confident. Every week we plan. We get our game plan for each and every team. We have confidence in our abilities and our coaches that we're going to execute the game plan and do what we want to do. So I would say our confidence is high. We just need to go out there and play our game.
Tate, good morning. It's Coach Hetler. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate you having you on here this morning.
No problem.
Hey, so, with the matchup with Colgate today, obviously a team close to my heart. I graduated from there. What are you looking for in that game? Midfield-wise, when I came down there earlier this year, I was really impressed with your athletic ability and the way you could match up and just sort of shut down middies. Are there any particular guys that you guys are really looking to key on for Colgate today at the midfield that you've been tasked with?
Yeah, we're going to focus on trying to keep them down the alleys. Obviously, one of their big midfielders, number 10, is definitely dynamic and kind of runs a lot of their offense above the cage, as well as with tackling number 22, Ryan Walsh. They like to play together. They work well together. Probably one of the best duos in the country. So we're going to try to keep them down the alleys like we've been doing all year, limit their good shots up the middle, try low angle so Berkey has a chance to save them. Outside, the hash marks, but we feel confident that Berkey's going to make those saves.
Yeah, I mean the other thing that really impressed me when I got to see you play earlier this year was your ability to change the field and push transition and be a part of the offense there. It looks like they've given you a lot of freedom to go and play and to push transition for the team. It seems like that's a style that UNC wants to play. You guys looking to try and create some of that today and push the tempo on these guys a little bit? I'm sure Colgate's probably thinking they're going to slow it down on you a little bit.
Yep. Colgate's definitely a half-court kind of team. More games probably than any other, even though we've always tried to push transition. This is going to be a game where we're going to definitely try to get the horse out of the stable and let them run a little bit, be smart at the same time, So we're definitely going to try to push transition, try to get up there, maybe get some of their offensive middies stuck on the field and try to capitalize on that. Our
guest again, Tate Jozokos, sophomore at North Carolina, midfielder, Defensive Player of the Week in the ACC. He's our New Hampshire Tomahawks Player of the Week.
Tate, Coach Cameron, we were playing your 2020 team that you're going to be coaching this summer. Is a very talented team. They were playing up at your hometown at Brewster Academy yesterday, and they're all really looking forward to having you coach this summer. They beat 3D 15-6.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah,
glad to hear that.
It's a good group, and they're excited to have you. So, kind of like finals are done for you guys. Can you take us through? It's almost like you're a professional lacrosse player. Take us through like the last week and kind of what game day is like, the day in the life of your today. Do you have meetings? Do you have film? If you could break that down for us, the young players.
It's the last week is a little boring after finals. We kind of you have to stay out of the sun. You can't go out in the 80-degree weather and sit by the pool for a couple hours. So we pretty much wake up pretty early since we're a morning practice team. You kind of get in that habit. Breakfast, since the game was at the afternoon, we'd have film before, go out and practice around 3:30ish. Practice for a good amount of time, 2.5, 3 hours. The coaches would feed us, and back home in bed by 10:30. But today, obviously, we wake up, we have a team meal at 1:00. We have breakfast. We will have breakfast by ourselves before that. But then we're in the locker room by 2:30. We'll have individual films, defensive films with the coaches. I'll have film with Coach Fipes. We'll go through each and every midfielder, attackman, both their lines, and then we'll be in the locker room with all of our getting ready, training room, getting picked up, and then 45 to 50 minutes before the game, we're walking out to Fetzer Field. So pretty jam-packed, focused, not a lot of downtime for us, especially game day. So it's kind of crazy, especially coming from New Hampshire, as big as this is, how much hours it actually goes into it.
Mm. Yeah, I was about to say, now that you're 2 years in down there in Durham, North Carolina, have you started to become accustomed to being a Tar Heel, to living life down in North Carolina, or is there still an element of unfamiliarity with it?
No, I'm not saying y'all just yet, so it's a little bit different. No, you can definitely tell your blood thins a little bit when I go home. Christmas break, I have an extra jacket when my dad's wearing a long sleeve. But yeah, I love it down here. The people are amazing. But I still try to keep where I come from, close to my heart. I always want to get back up there, but there's always a little New Hampshire in me. You can't really pull the New Hampshire out of me.
There you go. I like hearing that.
Tate, I was looking at the schedule you guys have played this year, and you've got you got 3 close losses and you got a bunch of close wins. How does Coach Bresci prepare you guys for that? How do you deal with the pressure of being in a tight game like that? And how do you get over the hump and win those tight games that you guys have won this year? What do you guys do to practice and simulate those type of situations?
Well, we and pretty much in every single practice we do scrimmages, and then he'll be like, Coach will say, this team is down 1 with 5 minutes left, or this team's up 1 with 5 minutes left. Go play, and there's not a lot of stoppage. He doesn't blow the whistle and tell people, well, this is what we should have been doing. He just lets us play. Just practicing those kind of game-like situations really, really transformed our game, because if you look back at 2014, we were on the other end of those. We lost a couple, that's double OT in Syracuse. We had let guys come back in the fourth quarter, stuff like that. Just having those throughout the year and those practices helped us tremendously in the end of the game. With the Syracuse game, the Duke game, all those games which were one goal wins. As of just like in the game, he tries to keep us calm, tries to keep us, focused, because we know what we're supposed to do. We just, sometimes if you just go disarray, you kind of just your head's going all over the place. He kind of brings us in and just tells us to focus. We know exactly what we're doing. We just have to execute the game plan. So.
Hey, as usual, we appreciate you making time for us. I know your schedule is busy, and obviously you got a big game later on today. So good luck there, and thanks again for joining us.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That's our New Hampshire Tomahawk Player of the Week, Tate Jozokos, sophomore UNC midfielder in the NCAA tournament later on this afternoon. In just a few